Guys, today we've got the Fragment Union Jordan 1 looking questionable. StockX not authenticating sneakers could be disastrous, and sneaker prices are just about to skyrocket starting today. Welcome to Sneaky Sunday. I think this is the second episode we've done here in Texas. I'm kind of enjoying just sitting back in the bedroom talking to you guys about sneakers. But we have a lot to get into today, a lot of really crazy stuff, so let's just jump straight into it. Little release recap, we had the Rare Air Jordan 1s drop yesterday. I think they are fully still in stock, so if anybody wants them, you can feel free to go and grab them. The Air Max 95 Neons were supposed to drop on the 4th, but I mean, at least for me here in Austin, things were a little bit weird. I showed up to JD Sports and they said that they hadn't got shipments in. No queue.
Oh, they didn't get them.
No.
No, they didn't get them.
What you mean?
The shipment didn't come. They're saying end of the month.
Not entirely sure if that's a widespread thing across the US or if it literally was just that location. But if you're in the same situation as me and your retailer that was going to drop them didn't get them on the 4th, then it's most likely going to be dropping on April the 18th. But let's get into this upcoming stuff. We've got a couple updates to the April release calendar, a few new additions. If you didn't catch Wednesday's video, that is where I did the top 10 list of the best sneakers dropping in April. So if you want to recap on all of that, go check that video out. But Nike just announced that they're going to be dropping the Air Max 1 Poly Big Head Mode. This is the dot swoosh release that's going to be inspired by, I believe, the 007 GoldenEye game. These are now going to be dropping on April the 7th. This is a pretty cool pair, and I think a lot of people are just really excited about the whole dot swoosh Air Max thing that they're doing. They've just been executing it pretty damn well. These are the official images. They carry over a lot of the same elements that we've seen with the Air Max 1 Poly, where it has all of the pixelated elements and the jagged edges instead of the wavy lines. If you're after these, again, April the 7th is when they're dropping, and that should be through dot swoosh, so just keep an eye out on the website and also the Nike sneakers app. We also just got a little announcement of the Travis Scott release. Apparently they're going to be dropping the Bright Cactus Jumpman Jacks on April the 30th. This is something that I think only literally just came up because this information was not available when I made my video. Either way, this would have made the top 10 list. I think a lot of people are excited about the Jumpman Jack, myself included, and this colorway is nice. I definitely don't know if I would pick it over the University Reds or the Sale one or the Dark Mochas for that matter, but still solid colorway. These are the official images, looking pretty nice. I think this could be a cool little summer sneaker. You know, springtime, you throw these things on. Summertime, I think it's a vibe. Hey, fingers crossed, retail price, but we know how tough that is with Travis Scott sneakers in general. Either way, April the 30th for these. Now, I know a lot of people are excited about this one, so I did want to include it in here. The Nike Reactx Rejuvenate. There's 3 new colorways returning. Don't know if these dropped or if these are new colorways. Either way, April the 23rd for these 3. We've got the blue one, which I do really like. The black one with the, I think this is a lime green Nike swoosh, and then just a taupey brown pair. There could be some others added to this list. I'm not entirely sure what has and what hasn't dropped because they keep selling out, and obviously they are US exclusive as of right now. I'm not entirely sure if they're going to get a global release. Hopefully that does take place on April the 23rd. I would like to pick up the blue one or maybe even this black one with the little neon Nike swoosh. I think that's quite a nice one. And also, if you wanted to check out the slides, they're also going to be dropping on the 23rd as well. So we've got the white colorway, but I think there's some other ones. Yeah, this blue one's also going to be dropping, the black pair, this white one, like I said, and then this one just kind of like a reverse of the blue one, or maybe just a little bit more teal, the burgundy colorway, and the taupe colorway. Or is there another one? There's also the resin one, another white one. There's a bunch of the slides freaking dropping, a bunch of different colorways. These retail for $60, unlike the Clog version, which is $70. So, you know, save yourself $10. These are going to be incredibly comfortable. I cannot wait to try these slides out. Another drop for April. I know some people are going to be really interested in this. Some people are not at all, but the New Balance 1906 Loafer in the cream silver metallic colorway is dropping on April the 16th. Now, this, in my opinion, has to be the best colorway that's dropped. Like the Sail with the metallic, with the black accents, the Sail midsole. This is a really nice colorway. As far as the shoe goes, I mean, it's just not really my style. I've tried them out, but they just... I'm not a loafer guy, and that's completely fine. You know, some people just look dazzling with a pair of loafers on, but that's unfortunately just not me. Either way, these continue to be extremely popular. I'm 99.9% these are going to fly off shelves just like the rest of the colorways. Now, this one's really interesting because I don't even think I knew that this was on the release calendar, but we've got an Air Jordan 5 Low Peanut Butter and Jelly on May the 1st. Take a look at these things over here, looking pretty cool if you ask me. I love the concept of PB&J Jordan 5s. So here's a little look. look, they come in a special box and everything. Look, you open up and you got the freaking peanut butter and jelly dripping down, and that is the sneaker. It's not a bad colorway by any means. I'm not entirely sure if this is for the ladies or if this is going to be a full size run. I'm not entirely sure, but I think these look pretty cool. And like I said, I had no idea they were going to drop. So if you like them, if you like the look of them, again, May the 1st as of right now is the release date. We just got a release date for the highly anticipated and kind of out of nowhere Air Jordan 3 Seoul 2.0. These are going to be dropping this summertime. To be more specific, May the 15th as of right now is when these things are going to be dropping. We have these early images over here, which don't make them look that great. Like, they're a little bit bummy images, but at least they're clear. You can see all of the colors and the materials. We got this shot, which does kind of allude to some special packaging, I believe, unless this is completely irrelevant and this guy just put these shoes on a random other box lid. But also we have BTS member J-Hope wearing them to a game. I think this is a Lakers game, but you can see him wearing them over here. So if I zoom in, you can see they're a little bit less sale than some of the other pictures suggest. Like, you can see them over here, and then these make it look extremely sale, almost like a pair of J Balvins. They look dope. They look so dope. I think this is a really, really cool pair, especially with the freaking pants he's got on. Look at that. That's crazy. Hopefully they don't make this some kind of like Korea exclusive or like super limited. Knowing Nike and Jordan Brand, they probably will be incredibly limited and hard to get. But fingers crossed, May the 15th, we'll see what happens. Let me know what you think of these. But by far, one of the craziest leaks that we have seen, and what has got a lot of people either pissed off or just like, what are they thinking, is the freaking Fragment Union Jordan 1 leak. So here we go. This is the shoes. We've seen them now fully leaked. They're in hand. We've even got on-foot shots of these things, and it's just not what we expected. From the original mock-ups, they looked something like this. It looked very in line with a lot of the other Union Jordan 1 collaborations, where it had that two-tone thing going on, where it had like the top a different pair of Jordan 1s or different colorway, and then the bottom was a different one. But this one basically looks like the Fragment Jordan 1s, just with a white outsole and maybe a swapped out tongue. You can barely even see the Union stitching. Unless you zoom up closer, you can see it's a light blue color which goes across and then kind of separates the tongue into a sail or white tongue, and then the black for the rest of it. You don't even see if you get like split laces or anything like that, because I guess it's all tucked in, but I hope they do split laces. The rest of the shoe is just pretty much like a royal color around here with a Fragment branding. You get the same kind of the little insoles that they did on the last Union ones, you know, the ones that we just had. That's pretty cool. I'm sure the packaging is probably going to be similar with a little bit of Fragment touches to that. Okay, so looking at these on-foot shots, you can see that they do have the split laces. But also another interesting thing is they've not gone with the orange label. Normally the Union branding comes with the orange label no matter what the colorway of the shoe is, even if it clashes a little bit. This time it seems like they've made an exception for Fragment. But by far the most controversial thing about this pair of shoes is the solid white midsole and outsole. So I think most people would have expected a black outsole. I think that would kind of tie the shoe together a lot better, but they just went solid white, which I think does make it look a little bit strange. Now, I'm not gonna lie, these still look really hard. Like, I'm liking these a lot. Like, the upper is so cool that I like the rest of the shoe, like, regardless of the white outsole, but I will say it is a questionable choice to go with that. Interestingly, the original release date for this pair of shoes was late this year, so spring 2025, or like, you know, kind of full time. However, it looks like these have been pushed, or maybe they just were always going to release in 2026, because this article on Sneaker News says that they're going to be dropping next year, spring. And then also, if you zoom in and do a little bit of, you know, squinting at this Fragment text that you get on the midsole, you can see it says SP26, and then it says Chris Hiroshi, and then a bunch of other random stuff, which I can't really decipher. But SP26, you know, special project for 2026 is what we can assume that means. So here we have them. This is them, guys. What do you think? Are you liking them? Is the white midsole too much? Are you still gonna go for them? In my opinion, I think these are still going to be insanely popular, probably even crazier than the last Unions, because they're going to be more limited. That is a fact. And they're probably going to be very, very hard to get your hands on. But I would love to know from you guys, would you take these over the other three, or are you going with just the plain old Union collabs? We just got first looks at the next Nigo Air Force 3, which is going to be dropping very, very soon. This one's a little bit more toned down, which I think is, like, I'm going to be going for these. I've been waiting on picking up one of these Nigo Air Force 3s. I like the shape, I like the look, but the colorways have been a little bit crazy. This one, however, keeps it just solid white. Now, they do add some crazy materials to this. If we look at this picture over here, you got a giant, it's like a freaking blinged out necklace on the shoe. shoe. This is taking it a pretty far if you ask me, but yeah, you've got a huge Nike gold diamond freaking, I don't even know what you call this. It's not a lace debray. Maybe it is, I don't know. But yeah, the rest of the shoe comes in white leather, some kind of like crocodile skin around the bottom of it. Perforated leather over there. I mean, this is the most toned down version that we've seen thus far. Basically just an all white Air Force 3 with some crocodile skin and then some golden accents, which, you know, I'm here for it. I think these things look pretty clean. Now, apparently, according to this article, it does say that there's also going to be a black pair along with this one. So we can expect kind of two options to choose from. Maybe the black ones are even more toned down if you like that. Either way, both of these should be dropping pretty soon, the white and the black pair. If we get any more updates on an exact timeline, I will let you guys know. And we finally got first looks at the upcoming Jordan 4 Cave Stone, which everybody was saying was like the Travis Scott Jordan 4 sample colorway. This is them. Not bad on the renders. Like, the renders were relatively accurate, although I will say this looks a little bit less brown, although that could just be this image because it is like a leaked photo. But this is what we're going to be getting this full time. So this is the original kind of render of what it was supposed to look like, and this is the image that we have. So definitely some potential for these to be more brown. We haven't really seen a color like this. I think this is like a little bit weird. It almost looks a little bit blotchy. So I'm assuming that this color is definitely from some kind of, I don't know, factory shot or something like that, which, you know, the lighting doesn't make it look as good as the original renders. But nevertheless, like, even if it did come in this grayish color, it's still not bad. The black and the white accents look great. I think this is a solid colorway. The materials look very, very Amamenyer, or maybe it is just a regular Nubuck. It's kind of hard to tell. But literally all we have is this shot over here, and then this little one of the toe, which is kind of pointless. Like, what's the point in even sharing this photo with us? Now, important to note, this is going to come with the Nike Air branding, which is definitely strange because we don't normally see that on, you know, new colorways like this. Normally it's just the Jumpman. So this time it's pretty cool. It definitely means that they're alluding to something with this, at least in my mind. Nevertheless, I cannot wait to see more images of this because this could be a banger Jordan 4 for 2025. These are actually going to be dropping, I believe, September the 6th, according to this article. $215. Let me know what you think about these down in the comment section. Is it something that you're going for, or are you passing? This one is wild. This is the Limousine Skateboards Nike SB Dunk Low, which is going to be dropping this summertime. They literally took a freaking football and turned it into a pair of dunks. Like, the first thought that goes through my head is I could just imagine wearing these and just walking around and it just being like like that sound of freaking, you know, whatever material this is just rubbing together. Surely these squeak when you walk around. Either way, I think it's I mean, as far as like a football adaptation of a sneaker, like, it's pretty well done. They've done the stitching lines right on the tongue where the laces would kind of cover it up. The rest of the shoe is just textured like a football, which is, I don't know, it's pretty cool. The Nike swoosh looks different. Like, look at that. Kind of looks rounded, kind of looks larger as well. You can see there's some branding around the back heel as well, very signature to a Nike SB. I cannot wait to see more pictures of these because they look crazy. Either way, as far as the release date, just at some point this summertime, $135. I'll let you know as soon as we get an update, but I'd love to know your thoughts on these things. One of the craziest sneakers dropping in 2025 has to be the return of the shattered Backboard Jordan 1. This time it's coming back in a full family size run. We finally just got some first images of these things. Take a look at them over here, and they've done something with the freaking insoles. Look at that. We got the little shattered Backboard insole. I cannot remember. Was this on the OG or is this something new? I never had the last pair that dropped at all either. Now, I'm not going to try and, you know, talk about the leather through these images because it is just way too hard to tell. I'm not going to say it looks great, but it doesn't look bad, at least, maybe. It is supposed to be like elevated from your standard. I don't know if that means as good as the other ones or something similar or better. Who knows? I don't know if that's possible. Either way, they're supposed to be really good quality. They're going to be dropping towards the end of this year. We don't have a specific release date, but before 2025 is over, and this is a decade after the last ones dropped. So let me know down in the comment section if you need a pair of these or is this a pass. I don't know how you could pass up. I'm definitely going for that. But with that being said, we do have some 2026 sneakers that I did just want to quickly mention because somehow we're getting 2026 leaks here. Like, we're 3 months into 2025, maybe 3 and a little bit, but either way. First one up, we got a pair of Jordan 1s. This is the Psychic Blue colorway, looking very similar to, I don't know, Turbo Blues or something like that. What were those ones called? The UNC Hyper Royals. It looks very similar to the Hyper Royals. That same kind of suede all over the upper. Now, this is a mock mock-up, so this is not actually like what the shoe is going to look like, but it's supposed to be representative of that. You've got the sailing, you've got the light blue. We're not going to stay too long on this. I just wanted to briefly go over these 2026 things because it's pretty interesting. We've got another Jordan 1, this time a low medium olive, so probably similar colors to Travis Scott ones that we saw just all over the exterior instead of like the mid panels. This one just takes like traditional color blocking. It's nice. It's nothing crazy. It's spring 2026, but let's keep it moving. Another Jordan 1 high. This one's called Cool Gray. If the color blocking comes like this, that's not bad. It's not amazing, but just kind of, you know, meh, interesting. It's hard to tell like how accurate these are going to be either because it's just so far in the future. It's literally an entire year away. Just a brief mention, but let's keep it moving. Another pair of Seoul Jordan 1 lows. This time they're, I guess, just going with the regular cut instead of like the 85. This one has a Seoul midsole and then a white upper. There's so many like neutral grays or like white options that you could go for, so I'm not entirely sure how many people are going to be super excited about these. And then also we're supposed to be getting the Air Jordan 4 Flight Club. I know we spoke about this before, but this has a new mock-up, so it's a little bit more accurate, I guess. Relatively simple now. It looks like it's just going to be white and black and then just have like different, maybe a navy tongue with some other branding on there as well. It's definitely got an interesting story behind it, and I think if they really play into that, this could be a very interesting release for next year. Spring 2026 for these as well. Now this we do not know exactly when is going to happen, but Justin Bieber has been teasing his new brand called Skylark. So this is something that he posted, I believe, to Instagram of these huge chunky slides that look pretty wild. Now this is going to be his own independent brand. I'm assuming this is like the first thing that he's going to drop, but I think there's multiple things as part of this because this is like one of the first, I don't know, these are like sample images or something like that. But you also get this shot which he posted, which kind of looks like a slide, but it also looks like a different product. He is dropping clothing alongside this as well, which he did post some pictures of, but I don't think Sneaker News has actually included them in here. I think the designs look pretty cool. I don't know, that looks very, very tall for a slipper that you like ankle snap city, am I right? Either way, it'll be interesting to see what he drops. It's either coming this year in the late, you know, towards the fall time, or it's going to be a next year drop. We'll have to wait and see, but if we get any more updates, I'll let you guys know. But let's talk about these sneaker prices. This is crazy. Like, trust me guys, this is going to change things significantly. Now, obviously not just in the sneaker game, but just across the board. If you guys haven't been living under a rock, you will know that Donald Trump has been making some crazy moves when it comes to tariffs. He's been very aggressive with it, and we're just going to, you know, mainly stick to obviously all of the sneaker stuff. We're not going to talk about anything else, but that's where things get pretty interesting, because if you're someone who is, you know, buying sneakers, this is most definitely going to affect you. It was a couple days ago, maybe yesterday, the day before, something like that, Donald Trump announced that he is going to be, you know, implementing some pretty hefty new tariffs. Now, if you're not entirely sure what a tariff is, it's essentially pretty straightforward. It's basically like a tax on products that are being imported into the country. So we're specifically talking about the US, obviously, Donald Trump, the president. But these new tariffs are going to hit the sneaker world very hard. So starting April 5th, that is today, all imports are getting taxed an extra 10%, with even steeper tariffs kicking in on April the 9th. So they've slapped on 34% on shoes from China, 32% tariff from Indonesia, and 46% tariff from Vietnam. Now, this is a huge deal because not only Nike, but a lot of other sneaker brands like Adidas and stuff like that all make most of their shoes from those three countries. As a result of this, a lot of the stock prices for a lot of these companies have absolutely plummeted. Nike stock dropped 13%, and other brands like Adidas, New Balance, and Crocs also took major hits. So you can see all of the percentages of different ones that have dropped. So we got Deckers 17% down, Puma 9%, Adidas 9%, Under Armour 17%, 16% for Foot Locker, Dick's, Skechers, all just absolutely plummeted their stock price. This is a very interesting graph. Footwear apparel brands grapple with significant supply chain hurdles. So this is the global sourcing exposure by tariff region. So obviously we spoke about how China, Vietnam, and Indonesia are going to be the ones that are like, you know, heavily tariffed. And you can see all of these brands like significantly, I'd say the most one is Vietnam. That's where a lot of these brands get their products. So On is literally 88% of their stuff comes from Vietnam. So the big question is, how does this affect the general person who wants to buy a pair of shoes? Well, it means that prices are most likely going to go up. Like retail prices for sneakers from every brand pretty much is going to skyrocket. Now, obviously current stock was made before these tariffs hit. That's why prices haven't like immediately gone up. Like you won't see them go up until later down the line, probably probably at the end of the year or probably next year. So when brands start producing new drops under these higher costs, they'll likely pass it on to us. Of course, they're not going to absorb it themselves. So by late summer or fall 2025, expect to see sneaker prices go up, release delays, or a shift in where brands produce their products if they decide to move manufacturing to different countries or just produce it in the US. As a little hypothetical, let's just estimate off of the tariffs like what the sneaker prices could be. So let's say, for example, a Nike Air Force One, currently $115, it could increase to $135 plus, maybe even $145. A $100 pair of Adidas Sambas could be $120. A pair of Crocs that you could find for $55 could end up being $70, $80. $150 pair of New Balance sneakers could be $170, $180. It's going to be absolute chaos, and it's also a very bad time for this to happen. It kind of feels like right now in the sneaker game, a lot more people are price conscious. They don't have as much expendable income to just throw on sneakers. I think I've definitely noticed a lot more people looking for affordable options or trying to, save money by going to outlets and trying to buy like a more affordable stuff. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. What do you think of these tariffs? Do you think that some of these companies are going to absorb some of these costs? Would you pay $140 retail for a pair of Air Force Ones? Let me know down in the comment section. Now, this one is very interesting. So StockX just announced that they're no longer going to be authenticating sneakers. There is a lot of context to this. They're not just fully stopping, but they are opening up this little program where they're allowing verified sellers to basically ship directly to the customer. So normally when you order from StockX, you buy the pair of shoes and that connects you with a seller. The seller then ships it to StockX, they verify it, they look at it, legit check it, and then they ship it off to the person who bought it. However, in this case, you will be buying from StockX and then the seller just shipped it straight to you. So there's no verification involved. Now, I could not find any information on who these verified sellers are and how they're able to become like part of this program. Like what kind of background checks do you have to go through? Maybe you have to have sold a lot of pairs through StockX, or maybe you have to be like some kind of retailer. I mean, we do know that there's a lot of backdooring going on, so maybe it's just kind of like these verified sellers. Who really are they? If it is just like sneaker resellers that have businesses that are going to be going through this program, it does make me think like this could end very badly, right? Like just imagine you buy a pair of shoes and it's from one of these verified sellers, they ship it to you, it turns out that it's fake. You then go back to StockX and are like, hey, these shoes are fake. And they're like, well, this was not authenticated by us. This was part of our verification thing, so you're gonna have to speak to them. I mean, I'm not saying that that's gonna happen, but I'm sure that there's a lot of ways that this could end up being pretty terrible. But who knows? Maybe it could just be a great thing. You get shoes quicker. I'm not entirely sure. As far as what StockX has said, they said that only less than 1% of orders will be handled this way. Considering like StockX's volume, less than 1% is still a decent amount of people. Now, you could be someone who's pretty smart and you're thinking, well, hey, I'm fine with this. And you know what? It's gonna make things cheaper because they won't slap on that verification fee that they always do right at the end when you're about to purchase something and it jacks up the price. No. Buyer fees still stay the same. So I don't know where that money goes. Let me know what you think about this down in the comment section. Do you think it's going to be a good thing, or do you think that it could end in catastrophe? Drop your thoughts down in the comment section, but that about wraps it up for this week. We do this every single Sunday, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel, become a Sneaky Sunday member. And don't forget, I got some crazy Texas content coming very, very soon, so another reason to subscribe. And if you want to check out another video, just click that one right over there.